नीलातुङ्गस्तनगिरितटी सुप्तम् उद्बोध्य कृष्णं पारार्थ्यं स्वं श्रुतिशतशिरसिद्धमध्यापयन्ति स्वोच्छिष्टायां स्रजनिगलितं याबलात्कृत्य भुङ्क्ते गोदा तस्यै नम इदमिदं भूय एवास्तु भूयः अन्नवयल पुदुवै ஆண்டாள் அரங்கற்கு பண்ணு திருப்பாவை பல்பதியம் இன்னிசையால் பாடி கொடுத்தாள் நற்பாமாலை பூமாலை சூடி கொடுத்தாளைச் சொல்லு சூடி கொடுத்த சுடற்கொடியை தொல்பாவை பாடியருள வல்ல பல்வளையாய் நாடினே வேங்கடவர்க்கென்னை விதியென்ன இம்மாற்றம் நாம் கடவா வண்ணமே நல்கு. The Azhwars were the mystic saint poets of the Tamil Bhakti tradition. Their devotional outpourings are consolidated into a work called the Āṇdāଈ Prabandham. In this episode of āzhwārgaļ Charitram, we are going to look at perhaps the youngest among the Azhwars and also the only girl among the Azhwars, that is āṇdāଈ. Vishnu Chitta or Periyāழ்வார், whom we saw in the previous episode, on a Friday, a Shukravara in the month of Adi, when Pura Nakshatra was in ascendance, heard the wailing of a baby girl from his garden. He found this baby girl under the tulsi plant in the garden. Considering this baby girl to be a gift from the gods, he took this girl and brought her up as his own. She had beautiful tresses and so was named Kodai in Tamil. In Sanskritam she is called Gōdā because she gives us the ability to speak well. This girl, whom we know as āṇdāಳ, was a manifestation of Bhumi Devi, one of the consorts of Srimannārayana. Periyāழ்வார் brought up āṇdāಳ by narrating to her the stories and the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Periyāழ்vaர் stands as an example of how we can bring up our children in the path of spirituality and devotion. It should all begin from a very young age. As āṇdāಳ heard the stories of Krishna, she ended up falling in love with Lord Krishna and wanted to marry him. Before Periyāழ்vaர் could take the flower garlands that he made to Srīvilliputtūr Divyadesham, āṇdāಳ used to take the garland, wear it on her neck for a moment and look at herself in the mirror. She would then remove the garland and return it to its original place, and Periyāழ்vaர் would take the garland and offer it to Vatapatrashayi Emperuman. Periyāழ்vaர் was not aware of what āṇdāಳ was doing all these days until one day āṇdāಳ was caught in the act. Periyāழ்vaர் was extremely furious and disappointed with what āṇdāಳ was doing. Periyāழ்vaர் immediately went, made a fresh garland and took it to Vatapatrashayi Emperuman. The Lord remarked, "I do not want this fresh garland. I want the garland that āṇdāಳ adorned on her neck." From that day onwards, āṇdāಳ was called Sudikodutta Nachiyar. āṇdāಳ had this innate desire to marry the Lord. That is when Periyāழ்vaர் told her that in Dwapara Yuga, in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Gopika Stris in Vrindavan performed Katyayani Vratam in order to get the son of Nandagopala, that is Krishna, as their husband. āṇdāಳ thought, in order to attain Srimannārayana, why should I approach him through Parvati? Let me approach him myself. Nārayanane namakke parai taruvan. It is Srimannārayana alone who has the authority to grant us moksha. In the month of Margazhi, the Dhanurmasa, which is revered by the Lord himself in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he says, Masanam Margashirsho Aham. āṉdāī considers the Kali Yuga in which she was living to be the Dwapara Yuga. Srīvilliputtūr, the town where she lived, as Gokula or Ayarpadi, which is in Uttar Pradesh in the north. She considered herself to be a Gopikastri, considered her friends to be Gopikastris as well, and considered the temple of Vadapatrashayi Emperuman to be the residence of Nandagopala. She sang 30 pasurams, a pasuram each for 30 days, called the Tiruppāvai. Margazhi tingal மதி நிறைந்த நன்னாளால் நீராட போதுவீர் போதுமினோ நேரிழையீர் சீர்மல்குமாய்ப்பாடி செல்வ சிறுமீர்காள் கூர்வேல் கொடுந்தோழிலன் நந்த கோபன் குமரன் ஏறார்ந்த கண்ணி யசோதை இளம் சிங்கம் கார்மேனி செங்கண் கதிர்மதியம் போல் முகத்தான் நாராயணனே நமக்கே பறை தருவான் பாரோர் புகழ படிந்தேலோரெம்பாவாய். So āṉdāī first establishes the purpose of the Pāvai Nombu or the Dhanurmasa Vratam that she will be taking up. She then wakes up the other Gopikastris and calls them as well to go to the residence of Lord Krishna. She then appeals to the security at Nandagopala's residence to let them in. She then wakes up Yashoda, Nandagopala, Balarama and Krishna. She then approaches Krishna through his consort Neela Devi or Nappinai Pirati. She then approaches Lord Krishna himself, who then comes and gives her the fruit of the Pāvai Nombu, that is the Parai. āṉdāī then celebrates with rice soaked in milk and ghee along with her friends. She then performs Sharanagati to the Lord and prays that all of them must serve him wholeheartedly in each and every birth that they take. Finally, āṉdāī in the last pasuram of Tiruppāvai returns back to being āṉdāī, the daughter of Periyāழ்vār, and sings the Phalashruti of Tiruppāvai. The other prabandham written by āṉdāī is Nāchiyār Tirumozhi, a set of 143 pasurams. Nāchiyār Tirumozhi sees the various phases of āණdāī's love with Krishna. In some cases, she sends messengers. She sends a cuckoo bird. She sends the clouds as messengers. At times, she cannot bear the separation from Lord Krishna. She then gets a dream that she was being married to Lord Ranganātha, to Sriman Narayana. That is when Periyāழ்vār asks āණdāī whom she wants to marry. āණdāī is very clear that she will not marry any ordinary person. When Periyāழ்vār is extremely worried as to what to do, the Lord comes in his dreams and says, "Don't worry, Periyāழ்vār, I shall marry your daughter. Bring her to my sannidhi." Periyāழ்vār then asks āණdāī the choice which Archavataram she would like to marry. āණdāī finally decides to marry Lord Ranganātha of Srī Rangam. And so āණdāī is decked in a beautiful Kūrai sari with the Pandian Kondai with a lot of jewelry, and she's taken to Srī Rangam. Likewise, the Utsava Murti of Sri Rangam, Namperumal, is also brought by the Kaikarya Paras. Both of them exchange flower garlands. Malai saatrinal kodai malai matrinal, malai saatrinal kodai malai matrinal, மாலடைந்த மதிலரங்கன் மாலை அவர் தன் மார்பிலே, மாலடைந்த மதிலரங்கன் மாலை அவர் தன் மார்பிலே, மையலாய் தையலாய் மாமலர் கரத்தினால், மையலாய் தையலாய் மாமலர் கரத்தினால், பூமாலை சாற்றினாள் கோதை மாலை மாற்றினாள், மாலை சாற்றினாள் கோதை மாலை மாற்றினாள். At this time, the onlookers wondered whose neck bears more garlands. Some people said there are more garlands on the neck of Namperumal. Other people said no, there are more garlands on the neck of Äṉdāಈ. But there was a set of people who said both of them have equal number of garlands on their necks. Swami Vēdānta Desika says in Gōdā Stuti, Nyūnādhikatva samata vishayair vivādaihi, thereby establishing the important principle of Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam that both Sriman Narayana as well as his consort Pirati, both of them are given equal importance. So Äṉdāಈ was a very small child. At the age of 5 or 6 itself, she had the knowledge of the quintessential knowledge as well as the knowledge of Tamil to sing Tiruppāvai and Nāchiyār Tirumozhi. And by then she already married the Lord Ranganātha and settled in Sri Rangam. She was all of 8 years old. Periyalvar was extremely emotional and heartbroken that the only child whom he brought up by telling her stories of Shri Krishna, who sang so well Tiruppāvai and Nāchiyār Tirumozhi, is now married and settled in Sri Rangam. That is when Ranganātha said, "Do not worry, my father-in-law. I am very used to residing at my father-in-law's residence. I will come to your place along with Äṉdāಈ in Srīvilliputtūr, where I will be Rangamannār." That is why we have Äṉdāಈ and Rangamannār in Srīvilliputtūr. Äṉdāಈ is definitely the little superstar who is an inspiration to all of us. In Kannada there is a saying, Murti chikkadadaru kirti doddadu. Even though Äṉdāಈ was just a very small girl, her fame extends even till today, to the extent that we are talking about her in the 21st century. Äṉdāಈ's greatness is not restricted just to the state of Tamil Nadu, but it extends even to the Asian subcontinent. In Thailand, there is a festival called Tiruppāvai, which is dedicated to Äṉdāଈ's Tiruppāvai. The 29th and the 30th Pasurams of Tiruppāvai, Chitram Chirukkalai and Vangakadal Kadainda, are recited during the Pattabhishekam or the coronation of the kings in Thailand. Äṉdāಈ is definitely an inspiration to all of us to cultivate pure, unadulterated bhakti towards the Lord. Namaskaram. Shatamakha Maninila Charu Kalhara Hasta Stanabhara Namitangi Sandra Vatsalya Sindhuhu Alaka Vinihitabhir Sragvira Krishnanatha Vilasato Hridigoda Vishnu Chittatma Janaha. Äṉdāଈ Tiruvadigalē Sharanam.